Let's see, actually. So, she's polite, dutiful, heroic, but she's a martyr. See what happens. Oh, interesting. This is different, actually. So this is when, okay, so they walk past. She actually walks past the hero. And the hero attempts to backstab her, right? I think. This is what happens. And then the maiden shouts something behind you. And you turn just in time to see her throw herself between you and the hero's blade. It pierces her chest as she falls to the floor lifeless. As the pool of blood beneath her grows, so does your rage. The hero has taken everyone from you now. You lose control, and the hero is obliterated. But your hatred for the humans has not yet been sated. You go on to destroy them all, and become ruler of the entire world. Vengeful overlord, eh? Time to just kill them all, I guess. Woo! Alright, well, that's not a good ending. What's it from the hero's perspective? What's it like to just kill the person you were trying to save? Oop, no, I didn't mean to flee, actually. So just be dutiful. Wee! Kill everyone! Whoa! Kill the demon lord! Ah! But your blade pierces the maiden instead. She has sacrificed herself to protect this demon. It takes you a moment to recover from the shock. The Overlord wails. That's an interesting detail, by the way. It's really interesting, actually. I don't know if I mentioned it. To see it from all different perspectives. Because from the Overlord's perspective, his eyes were shadowed, so you couldn't see his expression. But obviously, you can tell from his perspective that he is shocked from doing that. Why did you do that? You're not sure if the question is directed at you. The Overlord strikes you in a vengeful rage. You parry as she is slain. Your sword feels heavy. Oh, interesting. This time you actually win. You look at your hands and your clothes. Blood. So much blood. You look to the fallen maiden, wondering what to tell the townspeople. Why would she protect the Overlord? She must have been brainwashed by demonic magic. You pick up the Overlord's head, wrapping in your cape. Begin your long journey back to town. You would say that you were too late, that nothing could be done for the girl, but the Overlord is slain. There will be celebration. Loyal hero. So there you go. Interesting. Alright, I mean, I think the other situations probably end up the same way anyway, but I could check, I guess. Because the variation where the hero backstabs the Overlord and one where he doesn't, I guess. Technically different kinds. So what about this one then? Okay. Day off. Let her stay for a while. No, it isn't the same way though, it seems. I don't know how it works. Do this. Whoop. Oh, no, don't flee. I keep fleeing. No, you're supposed to be dutiful. Kill, kill, kill. Ask what's going on first, and then stab while you can. And then you probably kill the maiden again. Yep. Takes you a moment to recover from the shock. She asks why you did that. And then you parry and you kill her. Okay. I was actually seeing, I wanted to see if I could get the perspective where the hero gets killed, and you know, when you play as the hero, you get killed, and when you play as Overlord, you get killed. But it doesn't seem that to be the case, actually. It seems like, depending on who you play as, they're the ones that are victorious in their ending, which is weird, but at least in the battle, anyway. Dependent on who you play as, it seems. Anyway, seems to be one more ending each for hero and Overlord, and 2 more for the maiden, which is interesting. Let's see. What's one hero? Alright, so dissecting this flowchart begins his story. The Overlord's antisocial. Okay, it tells her to leave. I assume tells the maiden to leave. And then depending on whether you start off dutiful, obviously it doesn't end well. It just locks you into this bad ending, where you watch her burn. Or if you're demons, you talk, you trust her, and then either the maiden is resolute or she isn't. And that seems to be dependent on him, actually. That's kind of weird. I wonder what that is. So she's not resolute. Well, he's not hungry. You know, it's like I have to think about it. He's not hungry though, because otherwise you wouldn't meet the maiden in the first place. That will cause a time paradox. That's a time paradox. Raiden. Obedient, antisocial. Okay. And this is the hero one. So let's see actually. But she's not resolute. You know, she doesn't choose to go with him. Okay, flee. No, not flee. Oh, no, actually, be fleeing this time. Actually, you do flee. You meet with her. You trust her this time, and that seems to be the same though. Bystander, yeah, that's weird. Unless, oh, maybe the other needs to be a disloyal. Okay, because if he's disloyal, he starts plotting with the other demons and all that, and so there's a chance that I guess the whole mansion doesn't burn down. Maybe, and I mean, he kills the overlord, right? Anyway, so yeah, okay, let's see what happens. All right. Flee like a coward. Wee. Trust her story. Go back to the village and... Okay, you go back to the village. You know, they're shouting at her or whatever. She goes off on her own and then you chase after her or whatever. But you were too late. Uh-oh. Through the unguarded gates, you spot a group of demons surrounding a body. Okay, so she ends up going to the castle early, you know, while... the underling was talking with his friends, his really toxic friends, and I guess that's not a good idea. You spot a group of surrounding a body. The maiden, she was a fool that trusted the demons after all. Your hero blood is boiling. You'll avenge her death. You charge through the gates and eliminate every demon you see. The fuck are you doing, killing all my soldiers? Well, your soldiers are not very loyal, so the Overlord is angry. You vow to exterminate her and all of demonkind. You clash again and again, but Overlord isn't going down easy. You're both dangerously low in health when everything goes black. Your quest has come to an abrupt end. Uh-oh. I assume it's because of the underling. Damn it. And here's a letter, actually, because we found all of the endings for the hero. It's interesting. So what's it? Hey, my love. It just isn't fair at all, is it? For them to force us apart like this, it's unreasonable. Cruel. I had to find an outlet for this grief somehow, so I decided to write, and I'll keep writing until the day you find me once more, and then maybe we could write a story together. I'm waiting for that day. Forever yours, Tragedy. Alright. Well, let's see what happens from her perspective, actually. Whoop. Hello. And then obey her this time. Bye. And then leave on your own is probably a bad idea. I'm gonna do it anyway. And then you see a suspicious group of demons just standing outside and they're assassinating Overlord. They immediately notice you overheard them. Not only you recognize from before as the first to do something about it. This is just the way it has to be. They suddenly attack you. In that moment, you regret having ever trusted the demons, and you die instantly. Blech. Whoops. Oh, that isn't good. Interesting. So you find... Well, let's see. Let's see from the Overlord's perspective in that case. There's actually tell her to go home actually this time. She goes home. And the hero, yeah, okay, he's getting revenge for getting the maiden dying. As the Overlord, it's your job to take charge of these kind of situations. You rush out to end this hero's pitiful existence. Vile demons. I shouldn't have believed for a second that you were anything but pure evil. I'll exterminate you all. You don't really care what's going on, but you engage regardless. A girl's gotta defend her people, you know. You clash again and again, but the hero isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low in health, waiting for the other to make a move, when one of your underlings appears behind him. They knock the hero unconscious, you kind of appreciate it, but can't you see this was a duel, you know? No honor. You don't respond, or they don't respond, you sense murderous intent. Your servant tackles you, tearing you apart with their claws. You struggle to retaliate, and they've done too much damage, you can barely move now. Your blood is everywhere, you can't believe this has happened to you. Why has this happened to you? You've been slain by your own underling. Oh, there you go. Betrayed. The classic, you know, wait for the two of them to fight each other until they're low health, and then you just double kill them, I guess. Got another letter though. What's this? My love, do you remember when we first met? I just finished one of my scripts. One I was quite proud of, in fact. As I read it aloud, you happened to pass by. What a terrible ending, you said. Why should these poor fools have to die? You were so rude. You wouldn't accept any of my justifications, and yet you managed to convince me it really would be better if everyone could live in harmony, however unrealistic that felt. I look fondly back on that day, even now. I wonder if somewhere you think of it too. Forever yours, Tragedy. Alright. And I assume for the underling, the same thing happens, by the way, I guess. I just want to see real quick, you know, how different it is. You, your friends shouldn't know it's a maiden from earlier as over your entire conversation. It'd be bad for you though, I found out about this. Interesting. Oh, there's a choice here. I thought we got all the endings for the underling, but it seems like we have a choice here. So have another thing. We capture her. Well, let's see what happens if we do it normally. It's just the way it is, and you claw her guts out. It turns out you're already expert at ending lives. Your friends got you a show off. You go back to the castle, wash off all the icky human blood. It's just a, by the way, there's just a modern washroom in here. We're like a medieval fantasy setting, I feel like, and yet just suddenly I feel like just a modern public washroom. Anyway, as you're finishing up, you hear the sounds of battle outside. The heroes come, seeing the dead maiden must have made them pretty angry. You get to thinking, if this hero chucked down the ruler for you, everything might actually work out in your favor. You wait for things to die down outside before poking your head out. You spot Overlord and the hero locked in battle. They've worn each other out, making this very easy for you. Once the opening presents itself, you hit the back of the hero's head, knocking him out. What are you doing? Could you tell this was a duel? You don't respond, you have to carry out the assassination. You tackle her, rip her to shreds, your claws until she stops moving you, and you finish off the hero next. Yeah, let him revive and come after you later. You know, it's like an RPG, you KO the hero, but then you just full on just murder him. Just imagine that would happen in a typical JRPG. Kind of a cheap victory, but doesn't make any difference. Anyone who managed to survive comes crawling out of their hiding places, and you're a new ruler, alright. Same thing, got the same ending before, it's just a different way to get that ending. Got achievement actually, Puppet Master. Interesting. Well, I know there's the captive one. Okay, so yeah, there's the captive one. Let's see what that leads to in that case. It doesn't lead to a different ending for the underling, but I guess it leads to a different ending for the maiden, maybe. Time to toss her into the dungeon. You and your friends seize the maiden and bring her to the dungeon under the castle. It's empty, save for the decorative skulls. Normally they make it feel more spooky. The maiden is very upset. You leave her in the cell and continue scheming with your friends. But now a hero has arrived at the front gates. He's asking about maiden, perhaps the very one you just locked up. The gatekeeper, who must have seen everything, tells the hero exactly what happened. What an idiot, you think. Why give the hero an excuse to start slaughtering us? The hero yells, "Prepare to face justice!" and other such cliche hero lines, before driving his sword into the gatekeeper's torso. You're small compared to a lot of your friends, so you're able to slip away without getting cut up by the sword. And and same ending. Another Lang becomes the king, or whatever. Or them? Seems to be referred to as them. Are they non-binary? I don't know, anyway. Yeah, same ending though, it just ends up the same way, even though they're slightly different, right? So, I don't know. In that case, is there anything that happens with the maiden? Because she survives, technically. Well, survive for now, but, you know. I think, yeah, we obey her, and then we live on our own, I guess. Yeah. And you notice them scheming and everything. They immediately notice you overheard them and decide to lock you in the dungeon before you can cause any trouble. You cry out, but the demons ignore your protests. You can't believe you escaped possibly being thrown in a cell back in your village, only be tossed in this awful place and you have nowhere to go. This is terrible. Who's gonna keep those demons from harming the Overlord? You hope she can fend for herself. You sure can't. You hear the sounds of battle echoing through the halls outside. Did the hero follow you? If he's out there, your cries don't reach him. After a while, the violence seems to die down. It's impossible to tell what's happened. You continue to wait, but no one comes for you. Unable to escape, you rot in that cell. Well, they even feed the prisoner. That's illegal. You can't do that. Don't you guys have demon laws? You gotta feed the prisoners. Anyway, I got all letters though. I guess that's all the bad endings. There might be variations of those endings, but I think I got all of them. I got the final letter, which is technically number 2, but you know, it's I got them out kind of out of order. My love, I finally fulfilled a childhood dream of mine. Yes, that's right. I opened up my very own theater. You'll be so proud if you could only see it. I know how much it would have meant to you to be at my side on opening night. I'm sorry for going ahead without you, but I thought if my theater could just become world famous, then maybe you just might hear of it. Wherever you are, forever yours, Tragedy. Okay. I mean, I can only assume these letters are of the playwright, you know, the narrator talking to us in the very beginning. They made a theater and everything. And his name is Tragedy or something like that, maybe? I don't know. So yeah, those seems to be all the different types of endings I can get. At least the bad endings anyway. In that case, let's try to get the true ending this time. You know, we got a 41 out of 41, got all the different kinds of ways that these characters either die or get really depressed or, you know, or I don't know, or just go crazy. Maybe, I don't know. They all don't seem very happy endings. So let's try to get the happiest ending that we can get. I'm trying to remember. Without looking at the flow chart, I think it's like you trust, you be diplomatic, be polite. I think you don't be obedient. You actually stay, I think. And then disloyal. And then merciful, I think. Is how it goes, right? Because that now everyone ends up in the same room, and she prays for hope. How foolish. She prays for hope in a fully despairful situation. That's not right. Is despairful a word? Anyway. So yeah, I got a choice by the way before, you know, to get more bad endings or can't end like this. Well, now I can choose I only have one option actually because I already got all the other bad endings. So it can't end like this. As the maiden prays in a room full of smoke and flame. You want to answer the maiden's prayers. You've decided to find a way to save everyone. But retracing the path you've seen so far, there doesn't seem to be any room to avoid a bad ending. Is there really nothing you can do to keep them all from getting killed in the end? If there's nothing you can do about acting from within their story, maybe it's time to take things into your own hands. Uh-oh. Okay. On fire, by the way. On fire, on fire. And you are question mark, question mark, question mark. The hero's burning. Okay. The maiden is burning. The underling is burning. And the overlord is burning alive. Everyone is just burning alive. You can't choose their roles because they're literally burning alive. In that case, there's only one role left. It's question mark, question mark, question mark. Whee! You boldly insert yourself into the story, literally self-insert, and use your incredible power to whoop everyone to safety. Wow, it's amazing, literally God. You didn't know you could do that, but what's going on here? You take a moment to get a good look at yourself. You are you, but why are you pitch black? You feel that this body doesn't accurately represent you, but you move past it. The hero, maiden, Link, and Overlord have been staring at you too. They look like they don't really know what they're supposed to do right now, and you guess that's because you're usually the one guiding them. Oh, you say to them, "Hi guys." You smile awkwardly and introduce yourself. The maid is the first to respond. "My praise has been answered. You must be... your god?" "No, you're merely the player." "Yes, that's me. I paid, how much was this game? I think it was $10. It was on sale. I paid $10 to be the player. If there was any god here, they'd be the final boss. That's just how these role-playing games go. So either they're god or like a villain, like sacrifices something or does something to become god, you know? Something like that. Now you realize what the real true ending must be. It was the friends we made along the... No. Now. Enough of this. I admit I've been encouraging you all along, but a self-insert story, how passe, this Deus Ex Machina, and then suddenly everyone's been saved by me. You watch helplessly as tragedy descends from the heavens. You didn't honestly believe you were the only one who could force your way onto this stage, did you? I am the narrator, storyteller, god of this world. Call me Tragedy if you like. Darkness envelops your party. You don't mind if I send each of them back to relive one of their many bad endings, right? You're alone in the darkness with me, Tragedy. I sincerely hope you've been enjoying your time in my theater. Though I can't abide you stealing the show without permission, it's quite disrespectful and also quite, like, anticlimactic to just end it like that. I want to see something new. Are you trying to say my bad endings have gone out of style? You have some nerve. Well, I've seen all of them already. You think defeating me might just be the only way to see a better ending. The narration is kind of weird, by the way. It's like narrating himself, but also second person, but also his own dialogue. Anyway, it's all that's left for you, isn't it? Well, this does sound like it could be entertaining. Show me what you've got, and then we RPG battle. And then an RPG Maker battle starts. The stage is set for your final battle against me, the god of this world. What will you do? How will you fight against tragedy itself? I love to see it. Attack! Literally, okay. Wait, hold on, can I save the game? Actually, what was that? It said, you, a lost soul who wandered into my theater. Okay. Attack! Yeah! You try your best to tear me down, but you can't seem to do any damage. You don't truly exist in this world after all. You have no stats. Is that all? You'll never defeat me like that. Try it again. Hiya! Yeah! No. Perhaps you don't understand just how outclassed you are here. Behold, my beautifully tragic tales. Good. Very colorful. Doesn't seeing them all again make your heart ache? You witnessed all 41 of my painstakingly crafted endings. You must be as much of a masochist as me. I'm just very curious. And also, even 41 technically isn't really all of them. There's some scenes that you can still get that lead to the same endings, but are slightly different ways to get to it, you know? I commend your thoroughness. Surely these characters have a special place here in your heart. They're still suffering backstage, you know. It's a shame they couldn't make it here, to the end of the world. That's right. You came to save them as a self-insert. Mary Sue character. No, you can't do this alone. Infinite HP. How will you fight against him? I'll quit the game and my HP is 41, by the way. I mean, I guess I'll just summon. I didn't know I had the summon skill. I didn't know I was a summoner. Summon. You find the hero in his home hunched over a sewing table. Have sewing tables, I guess. Is that like, I don't know, again, it's like I just when you think of like JRPGs and heroes and swords, like demon lords, you just think of like a medieval fantasy, right? And just somehow they're just modern inventions. I don't know, because why would they live in a village of, I mean, I guess villages exist in real life, like in current times, but like in more rural areas. Anyway, your sudden intrusion scares the heck out of the poor guy. Yeah, are you some kind of demon? Suddenly, this is a dating sim, by the way. It's a first-person perspective. You explain that no, you're not a demon. You're... How can you explain it in a way that the hero can understand? Instead, you ask what he's sewing. Oh, this? I craft all my own hero gear. You know, it's a crafting skill. You sense his pride in his hobby. You wonder if the costumes are what attract him to the role of hero. Would you like some clothes? You don't seem to be wearing any. You know, this is... You remember to save your body and decide that, yes, some clothes from the hero would be nice. He's overjoyed by your answer. Apparently his outfits are too gaudy for the other townsfolk, so no one else wants them. Oh. He's a cosplayer. That's what he is. The true end for the hero suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change his fate. I can make a living as a tailor rather than hero. Please, tell me what I can do to reach that dream. The hero will now fight alongside you. I agreed to follow you, but I didn't expect to face something like this. The hero has arrived. We really couldn't have a final boss battle without him. You're the one who's been killing us. Murderer. I can't truly call myself a hero until I see you defeated. We'll see about that. Treasury attacks with terrible fate. Ah. Ow. Willpower. Justice. What's willpower? Your reign of terror ends here, Tragedy. I refuse to give in. The hero uses willpower. Yeah. But he's still infinite HP though. He's reeling. I'll use the power of justice. The hero tries using his belief in justice to fight tragedy. That justice applies to you too, does it not? Will you pay for your misdeeds? Ah. Ow. I guess justice doesn't work. Well, let's try summoning in the next person. You happen to find the maiden as she exits the church, her heart set on meeting a demon. Perfect timing! She approaches you, having already taken notice of your odd form. Excuse me, are you a traveler? I've never seen anyone like you before. You explain that no, you're not a traveler. Well, maybe you are in a sense. You come all this way, like an interdimensional traveler, I guess. The maiden regards you with excited curiosity. Then perhaps you might be a demon. I was hoping I would meet one day. You think of all the terrible fates that hope would bring about. She's the catalyst of this story, after all. My role as a maiden is to be captured by the Overlord, but you see, I've grown so tired of waiting. You remember this part. She wants to understand her role better, and so you ask what it is that she's really hoping to gain from this. The maid is confused by your question. Perhaps it was as simple as wanting to reach the place she felt like she belonged. The true end for this maiden suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change her fate. If there's something to do to find fulfillment, then please guide me. The maiden will now fight alongside you. What is this horrible creature? You wound me, dear maiden. Is tragedy really such a terrible thing to behold? I remember now. I remember all the awful things you put us through. Then this should be familiar to you as well. The attacks of a terrible fate. Ah! Blood. Use the power of kindness. The maid tries to appeal the tragedy of kindness. So naive. I'll balance your kindness with my cruelty. Meh. Ow. Alright. Well, let's use the power of hope instead. Kibo. Hope always defeats despair. At least in a series called Danganronpa anyway. Our true endings do exist. They simply must. The maiden hopes with all her heart to overcome tragedy. Ow. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like the hope. Alright, well, let's summon another person. You approach the gates of the Overlord's castle. The underlings on guard duty as you expected. They call out to you. The other demon guards is sound asleep. Hey you! You're a pretty weird-looking intruder. What do you want? You explain that no, you're not an intruder, although you're definitely intruding into their story right now. You tell the underling you've come to save them from tragedy. Okay, try saving me from boredom first. I hate this job. The underling snickers. You ask what kind of job they'd rather have. It'll be best if I didn't have to work at all. I just want to live a carefree life, never get bossed around or picked on. You think of the underling's friends who had bullied them to an assassination plot. Without context, isn't that just a funny thing to say? Only to betray them at the end. If they kept better company, maybe they wouldn't feel so restless. The true end for the underling suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change their fate. So there's a way that even work can be fun? Sounds fake, but I'll tag along with you just in case. The underling will now fight alongside you. Doing like a weird, karate stance, or well, not really karate, but Wait, what the fuck? You didn't say anything about boss battle! The underling, You must be desperate to call in such an unreliable ally. If I beat this guy up, all my problems will be over. Oh, but it won't be that easy. Woo! Yeah, getting choked up by his friend. Use the power of mischief! You're so much fun. Would you like a reminder where that mischief will lead you? Death, yes. Inside a closet, burning alive. Well, how about the tenacity? I guess tenacity will win instead. Knock me down, I'll come back. I'll just come back stronger. I'm like a Saiyan, from Dragon Ball Z. The whole thing about like Goku being stronger after he gets defeated. Anyway, becomes overcome tragedy though. Good. All right. So willpower, hope, and tenacity. Let's use the power of summoning the last person in the party. You enter the Overlord's room, relieved to see the fire contained to the torches on the walls. When you close the door behind you, the Overlord rises from her slumber. Who are you? Have you come to reside in my castle and serve me? You explain that, no, you're not here to serve her. It's more like you've come to do her a favor. You ask why she spends all day sleeping instead of commanding her demon army. She laughs in response. Many of my underlings certainly think I should be more aggressive with the humans, like my father before me. His quest for revenge was endless and self-perpetuating. There's a reason I had to destroy him. You can't help but think it's a little late in the game to be getting some new backstory that reminds me of Disgaea, but anyway. I have no interest in waging war on the humans. I merely wish to be left alone, to live a peaceful, indulgent life in my castle. You realize she must actually be very lonely. As it turns out, she was a hikikomori this entire time, only surrounded by soldiers instead of friends. No wonder she gets so attached to the maiden. The true end for the Overlord suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change your fate. My own attempts at peace have been rather imperfect. If you offer a solution, then very well. I will follow you. And the Overlord will fight alongside you. Hiya! I see. So this is tragedy. You've brought the Overlord. I don't stand a chance now. You prevented me from attaining peace for long enough. Prepare to die. I hope you're prepared to face your deaths as well. A terrible fate. Now that the whole party's here, can you solve my final puzzle? Which combination of behaviors will open the path to your true ending? Show me. Let's try brutality. I mean, I think it's the wrong option, but let's try it anyway. Let's see what happens. Oh, his vine has really been working out for you so far. I'll show you my own brutality. Kill everyone. And then nothing happens. Alright. Well, obviously we choose ambition, I guess. Willpower, hope, tenacity, ambition. With our powers combined, we'll create Captain... good end. I don't know. I'll reach my true ending with my own power. She uses her ambitious nature to overcome the tragedy. This is it. With everyone's heart united, you take aim toward your best possible futures. It's like a weird meta-narrative, you know, where you literally fight against the author of the story, but also the author of the author? Because there's the author that wrote the author, like a really meta way. But anyway, you all unleash one final attack to destroy a tragedy once and for all, kind of like a team attack in Disgaea. Wow. You've done it. You managed to defeat me. A tragic ending for tragedy itself. I love it. I must thank you all for fulfilling your roles perfectly. He's like confused. Thank you, hero. Thank you, maiden. Thank you, underling. It's like, Thank you, Overlord. Enough of this nonsense. We defeated you, so die already. Don't worry. I'll be making my exit shortly. Finally, thank you most of all. We could make it without you. Yes, my bad end theater did contain a truly good ending after all. I apologize for antagonizing you for so long. I wanted to deliver a satisfying story. Was I able to do it? I wonder. No, wouldn't that be like, nah, no, that would just be really rude after all this. Be like, nah, I didn't like it. I wanted more suffering. No, okay, fine, I'm satisfied. I mean, thank you. I really appreciate that. Happy endings shouldn't always come easily. Reality is not so kind. If you're in this one, here's your true ending. I got it, true ending. I wonder what happens if you say no. I don't know what. That'd be just really sad if you say no. It's just like, no. Just because, just to say no. Anyway, I guess that's it. The hero becomes a tailor. The underling becomes like a, what do you call it? A fashion show, you know, person that walks down the lane. I forget what we call it. A model, I guess. Oh, there's a song, by the way. Which Vocaloid is this? I don't think it's Miku, but some kind of Vocaloid, I think. But yeah, Overlord and Maiden are together. That's the end of the play. There you go. Oh, there's more. I was wondering if there's more to their songs. Yeah, the song, by the way, also implies there's some kind of like backstory of the tragedy person as well. I don't know what that means. Again, it's some kind of Vocaloid, by the way. Oh, something's missing. I knew it. Something's missing. I don't know. I was just trying. I'm trying to try to. What's the word? Recognize the voice. It kind of sounds like Len. You know, Len Kagamine. Could also be one of the English Vocaloids. I'm not really familiar with the English ones, but there are, technically English versions of the Vocaloids that are not as popular as the Japanese ones, ironically, in the West. It just didn't really take off as much, I guess. But yeah, something's missing. There's more to this story. I'm not leaving my seat yet. I'm just gonna sit here, just not leave. Oh, you're still here? The curtain has closed for the final time. I'm shutting down my theater. You need to get out. You're trespassing on private property. There are no more tragedies left for me to tell after all. Ask Tragedy its story. Me? You'd like to know why I started this theater? Because I'm obsessed with bad endings, of course. Take off the mask. Take it off. Ah! You gently raise your fingers to the cracks in my mask. Piece by piece, it falls apart into your hands, revealing... Nani? I gave you the wrong voice, because I don't know, the voice doesn't really fit anymore. I should have warned you. This might affect what you think of my stories. You can't help but compare my face to the maidens. I'm not her, but it's not like she isn't me, necessarily. That's how it is with fiction. Would you like to hear not another ending, but the truth? Sure, why not? I have no other option. Alright, one last try. You may already know this, but it doesn't have a happy ending. First, I'll set the stage. In this world, there's no such thing as demons or even heroes, really, just like your JRPG video games. There was a girl eager to set out to fulfill some sort of destiny. That part was true. She met someone, another girl. Running theme, isn't it? The maiden and the overlord. The two were inseparable, and for a time everything was just wonderful. But their families, the communities they came from, neither could approve of their relationship. That's the reality for many. The pair was no different. Well, it's like, Romeo and Juliet. Familiar story. Despite their best efforts, the world was intent on pulling them apart, as if they're like star-crossed lovers or something. We used to like the types of stories where love conquers all, where the strength of your love will pull you through any hardship and everything is okay in the end. I lost her, and then I started this theater. But this story does have a happy ending. Okay, don't really have a choice. Huh? Ta-da! Nani? Can't do that, it's cheating. I was hoping to find you. So wait. Okay, so technically, we're the Overlord? I assume, she looks like the Overlord, right? So I think that's the Overlord. Or like, not the real Overlord as in like in the story, but a metaphorical... The Overlord in the story was a metaphorical representation of a real person in real life in the story of the story in the story. Anyway, I was hoping to find you. It's you. Hug. It's been so long. I thought I'd never see you again. You always think of the worst endings. I was about to give up just because things got difficult. Why didn't you review yourself sooner? I feel like such a fool. I didn't even know you could shapeshift like that. You should just do that. I could say the same to you. You knew I could never resist giving your stories a happy ending. So of course I'd be drawn to a place like this. Yes, but I didn't think it would actually work. Sometimes everything does turn out okay in the end. Thank you for reminding me of that. I love you. I love you too. Okay, oh gosh. And now truly everyone can live happily ever after tragedies, and got the ending for tragedy as well. Isn't that amazing? Well, there you go. I think that's the game. Story within the story. It's also closed. I guess not playing any more bad endings. So yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I like the concept, I like the concept of like deliberately looking for bad endings and everything. You know, it's a thing I often do anyway. Right? I like to look for games that actually do have multiple endings like that, and that have interesting aspects of them. I like the idea. I really like the idea of like going through the game from different perspectives, and you see the endings from different people, and sometimes when characters they die early, you know, it affects the fate of others, and it's like a cascading like butterfly effect, you know, just kind of like, you know, kind of like any kind of like a time loop kind of story or concept, you know, like Groundhog Day or something like that. It's interesting. It really reminds me of a Flash game actually, like a long time ago. It feels like a long time ago anyway. It was called No One Has to Die. It's a very similar concept, you know. It's like, kind of like a visual novel-esque kind of like puzzle game where you try to like, you know, make everyone live, but like it's hard to do that, and so you get different like paths depending on who lives and who dies and all that, you know. Very similar concept. Anyway, I forget who made it. It was like a long time ago. I don't remember who made it, but yeah, that's a game that this reminds me of. And yeah, like the art, obviously, there's a lot of effort, by the way. I've noticed there's so many scenes of all the different characters. I imagine if you just look at the full gallery, you know, there's just way too many images. You know, at least variations anyway. I like how like the different perspectives have different like little filters of them, so you can tell like which route you're on and everything. And yeah, interesting. What else to say? The only thing I would say about it that I feel like would have added maybe a little more depth is maybe, well, I don't know. Then again, I don't know. I'm not like a game designer, so maybe I shouldn't, you know, I shouldn't talk. But like, maybe if there's a little bit more of the puzzle element, you know, even though ironically I'm really bad at puzzles, but it really felt like at the end there, it became like, you know, like, oh, it's an RPG battle, whatever. It really did feel like, you know, at the end, it kind of just, it tried to like, you know, make a cool, you know, conclusion where everything's like almost completely different, but like ties in with the traits and everything. That's okay, but I wish there was a bit more of a mechanic in that case. You know, if you're gonna do something like that, like maybe, I don't know how you would do it though. It's like, I don't know. I felt like it would be more satisfying if the final battle had more to do with what we're doing in the main game or something like that. I don't know. It just felt like too easy, basically, right? But then again, does it need to be hard? I don't know. I just felt like it's supposed to be like, oh, it's super hard to like you get all these bad endings, all these characters suffer horrible fates and everything, but then in order to get the true ending, you have to try really hard and all that. But the thing is, as a player, and maybe it's just me, maybe it's because I play too much visual novels, maybe it's just a me problem, it actually felt a little bit too easy, actually. You know, it felt like I thought I was expecting something a little bit more bigger. You know, it's like actually really, really tough to like figure it out, and then finally you get the true ending or something like that, right? But I really felt like you know, especially even Lampshades itself, you know, by hey, and then you're self-inserting yourself in the story is like, you know, I wish there was a more clever way, you know, for example, to get out of the fire, right? I mean, spoilers for the game I just mentioned, the Flash game. I'm trying not to spoil too much, but in the Flash game, there's like a puzzle where you gotta like move like blocks and everything, and there was a very clever thing you could do. Once you get all the endings, you get like a full perspective of what's going on. You can look for one secret little thing you can do that really changes the whole path and then leads you towards, you know, the true canonical ending or whatever. So I felt I wish there was more to it than that for this game anyway, instead of like just, and then suddenly, you know, you're at the final battle when you self-insert yourself. I wish there was maybe a player, something the player could do that like depends on them cleverly figuring something out, you know, so some kind of clever mechanic to really tie everything in, to really show that you're like as the player anyway messing with the story in the game, right? Because it gets a little meta too, I guess, which I like, but I wish a player could do something, you know, instead of just telling the player that suddenly you're self-inserting yourself in the story. I don't know. Again, I'm not a game designer. Maybe, you know, I don't know anything, but that's what I was like hoping, and I didn't, and I don't know, it just felt too easy to get the true ending, I feel like. So I did struggle a little bit, but it was more about trying to like getting all the endings instead of like a particular thing I had to figure out. I don't know. But But yeah, that's what I feel. Overall though, it's good. The game, the music's good. I guess the whole meta story, by the way. I mean, if you read the letters and everything, I guess it really is just like the real story, you know, like a layer, I guess, below, or is it above? I don't know. But the layer above, I think, of the bad end theater story is the fact that tragedy made this like whole story, right? In order to get people to like go to their theater and everything, and eventually it's like it's a metaphor for their real life, you know, with this other character who I assume the Overlord is based on, and you know, and they get they get like a happy ending in the end, as you see there, because she does eventually find her work and they get together and blah blah blah, right? A little cheesy to be honest, but you know, it's fine, whatever. It's fine. After all the bad endings, I guess it's okay. But yeah, it's just a metaphor for, you know, the maiden and the overlord, you know, they just really wanted to be together, but they couldn't because there were just so many things stopping them, and that the bad endings are like a metaphor for that, right? Because there's so many, you know, ways that things could go wrong, I guess, is the idea. Which is cool. Again, really, I like the initial concept, though. I really like it. I think it's unique, you know? I mean, I mentioned before, there's at least one game that does that. I mean, there's some games that are like, anything to do with time travel, I guess. There's like time stuff, timey-wimey stuff. But I do like the idea that this game is literally like expecting you to get bad endings. And that's something that I feel like is very unique about it. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, so there you go. And yeah, I think that's my final thoughts, you know, overall, pretty good game. I guess I'll just end it here. So that was it for Bad End Theater. I don't know what else to get. I mean, again, there's maybe some slight differences in the way you get to the endings, but I don't think there's much else to see, at least for me anyway. I think I've experienced as much of the game as I could. So there you go. And I guess if you're on YouTube, if you didn't know, I stream these games live on Twitch, so check me out over there if you're interested. I also have other playthroughs on the channel, so you can look for those if you want. I've actually played a few of Nomnomnami's games. Most of her games are actually pretty cutesy, actually. You know, not all of them are actually this. This is actually kind of exception where she does go a little bit hard, you know, on like the violence and stuff. But actually, most of her games are actually pretty cutesy. Well, mostly. Well, they have a cute exterior anyway. Sometimes they go into like deeper issues or whatever, and conflict and all that. But you know, most of them are just from a glance anyway, are pretty cutesy. At least they don't involve a lot of dying anyway. Not as much as this game. This game has a big kill count compared to other games. As far as I know, I'm trying to remember. Well, yeah, most of the games are kind of like romance in nature. Anyway, but yeah. You can find her, maybe her other playthroughs, or just check out her, you know, just check her itch.io, whatever. I think most of her games are itch.io, but this one's on Steam. But yeah, enough rambling. There you go. Thanks for watching. Until next time, see you then.